just accepted on your end, and we'll be ready to go. And ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'd like to now introduce to you our co-founder, managing director, Mr. Nick Roush. He's going to take the lead on our training tonight. And with that, Nick, please take it away.
Great. Thank you very much, Sunil, and thank you everyone for joining us this evening. And first, I want to start off by saying, wow, we've just had a tremendous response, and we thank all of you for getting involved with the company. And everyone is beginning to download their software now, and they're running strategies, and they're getting familiar and comfortable with how this great technology works. And we're having a lot of fun, sharing this technology with all of you out in the field. So first, I want to start this call off by just going over the legal disclaimer. In today's world, we need to cover ourselves and let you know, first and foremost, we are a software company. We're not registered investment advisors. We have a tool that will help you trade the market. And the disclaimer is for demonstration purposes only. Everything I cover with you tonight is for demonstration and example purposes. CoolTrader Pro, CoolTrade, robotic trading systems do not make buy, sell, or hold recommendations. Unique experiences and past performance do not guarantee future results. You should speak with your CPA, financial representative, broker-dealer, financial analyst to ensure that the software strategy that you utilize is suitable for your investment profile before trading in a live brokerage account. All advice and or suggestions given are intended for running CoolTrade software in simulation mode. So now that everybody has that, I hope you're all excited about the stock market. So what I'd like to do first is I'm going to start this off, and we're going to keep this real basic tonight. We'll call this CoolTrade 101, and we're just going to start by walking you through the trader, and we're going to walk through a couple different ones tonight and walk you through the features and the strategy wizard, which is the back end of the system. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. Sunil, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can, Nick. If you could, though, expand your screen out all the way, that'd be great.
Okay, I believe that's as far as it's going to go.
Yep, you're good to go.
Okay, great. So what I'm going to do, obviously we're not in market hours currently. You can see up top here, it tells us that the market is closed. But during market hours, this is a number crunching machine. It's looking at 8,000 U.S. stocks, and it's applying technical indicators, and it's applying those indicators and determining which stocks are trending up and which ones are trending down, and it's making all the buy and sell decisions for you. I'd love to do another one during market hours so you can just see this thing flying during the day. But this is one that's set up, and many of you will start off trading one stock or just a couple of stocks. So I just kind of like to keep it real basic for the beginners here and folks who are new to the technology, and just start off by showing you a system that is just set up to trade one stock. So let's go ahead and talk about let's start up here. Each one of these systems will carry out a long and a short strategy for you simultaneously. So you can run a long strategy, which means that you can select stocks that are in uptrends, and you can capitalize and profit from them as they go up. And you can run a short strategy, which means that you can actually profit from corrections in stocks that are trending down. So here we've got our start times and stop times, for the day. This is set on New York time. Over to the right here.
Can I say one thing here?
Yeah, go ahead. I've got Ed Barsano with me this evening, and he's the creator, so he's gonna chime in from time to time. So go ahead, Ed.
Okay. The stop time on that, it says 3:30, and that's New York time. That's just a preference that I had years ago. I feel like no matter what the indicators and the trends are and all for the current day, I just feel like I really don't want to open any new positions after 3:30. So that's actually the open and add to position start and stop time. The actual stop time on the Auto Trader is 4 o'clock when the market closes. So this is basically saying it's not going to open any new positions after 3:30, but it will continue to close positions in the last half hour.
Great. So the next box over here, we've got a little market information during the day, and you can see this moving around during the day. So the Dow closed up 105 today, the NASDAQ 23, the S&P 10, and usually we have the E-mini data in there as well.
I'll pipe in again for a second. The E-minis, when I was day trading in the trading houses back in 2001 and 2002, I noticed that the professional day traders were looking at the E-minis. That's the S&P 500 futures contract. We don't trade that contract, and neither did they. But they use it for what you care about is that first bar, the first black box. That just says, I want that to be green. If I'm going long, I want a green bar. And I don't care if it's just a quarter, because the E-mini moves in quarters. So I don't care if, just give me one green bar, at least I know the overall market is going in the same direction that I'm about ready to go in with this individual stock. I don't necessarily like to line up all the planets before I trade, but that's one there I know the day traders are all staring at, and when that thing goes green, then they're ready to jump in.
Perfect. Thanks, Ed. Okay, so over to the right here, we've got the account value, so it's going to tell you how much you have in your account, your funds that are allocated. So in this account, there's $9,760 allocated. The account value is $50,025, and funds available are $82,787. The reason that it's $82,787 is we're utilizing a 2-to-1 margin, meaning that if you set up an account with $50,000, you're going to have twice that as buying power. It's a line of credit, essentially, that you get from the broker.
Now the 50,000, you would think 2-to-1 margin. 50,000 times 2 is 100,000. But really, we only give you a 1.85 to 1 margin because we want to leave you a little bit of breathing room there. We don't want you to allocate the whole 2-to-1 margin, because if you allocate the whole thing and the stock goes a little bit the wrong way, the broker will give you a margin call. So we would put a little bit of buffer in there.
All right. So connectivity, the next button, if you lose your internet connection during the day, the robotic trader is going to give you a message and let you know what time it lost the internet connection and what time it was able to restore it during the day. So it's automatically going to try and restore that connection until it's able to go back online. So the next button here, this is a chart. So during the day, any of the symbols that you have in your inventory, you're going to be able to have a quick reference and be able to see what that symbol's doing during the day. So Bank of America here, you can see it opened up around 9:56.
No, actually, no. That red line right there is the open.
Oh, that's where it was.
That's yesterday.
Okay.
This is all yesterday. Right in the middle is where it opened there.
Okay. All right. So you can see, it dropped down and then it trended back up during the day. So the next one here is the show trades. It'll show you any trades that you did for the day, whether it be opened or closed trades. And the next box over here is system activity. So this is going to tell you what the robotic trader is processing during the day, what it's looking at. It's calculating numbers and crunching numbers, second by second during the trading day. Now down below, and I chose to share this being our starting point here because I wanted to keep it real simple. Each one of these systems will manage up to 100 long positions and 100 short positions. The average person, though, is just going to trade a handful of stocks. So here, this right above where it says symbol, it'll tell you how many positions you have, how many long positions you have, and here it says 1 position. And then it'll tell you how many short positions you have. And for this strategy, he's just trading Bank of America long. So symbol tells us what symbol we have, and that's Bank of America Corporation. The next column is going to tell us what side we're on. Are we on the long side or are we on the short side? And on this particular one here, we're on the long side. Position quantity is going to tell you how many shares we're trading.
Let me clarify one thing. You see that description line on top, symbol, side, position, average cost going across?
Yeah.
That whole line is describing the first line here,
right.
The BAC, long one, and under it, the action quantity entry. That's the next, the limit order line.
Right, right.
You don't read them top to bottom, you read them across.
I need to clarify that. Thank you, Ed. So the side here tells us which side we're on. We're on the long side. And the action that we're looking for is to sell that stock. So we're looking to sell that stock. So the position is 1,000. We have 1,000 shares of Bank of America, and the quantity is 1,000. So if we had multiple levels and multiple levels of Bank of America, it might say we have 3,000 shares. So
and then there'd be three $1,000.
And then there would be three $1,000
limit orders
down below. So next column here is we have the average cost. So for this position, the average cost was $9.90 because we have one position. Our entry price was the same, $9.90 for that position. Our limit price is our goal. That is contained within the software on your computer, and that's not floated out in public view, so no one else knows what you're looking to do. But for this particular position, we're looking for it to go to $10.10. That's our goal on this one. Now the next column here is the price to go. So we need to go 35 cents in order to close that position profitably.
See, a lot of these fields, they came about from the School of Hard Knocks, because in the beginning I didn't have these, like the price to go and the position change and the percent change. And then and I noticed every time I was looking at an auto trader, I'm always doing this mental math. How much more does it have to go up or down before I reach my goal? And so as the auto trader evolved, we start putting these things in there so you don't have to think so hard. You can just glance at it and say, oh, it's got to go up 35 cents more. Because otherwise, without that there, you would always have to look at the limit price. Then you'd have to go all the way over to the right and look at the bid price and see what the difference is.
All right, thank you. So the next column here is position change. So we're actually down 15 cents on that particular position right now, which is not a big deal. These stocks move around, and we'll be ready. If it's going to go down, we're going to add more. If it goes up, we're going to take profit. So then the next column here is position change percent. So this shows us how much the position is moved either in our favor or against us, and we're down 1.5% on that position. And we can look at the net P&L column. The net P&L column, it's really important to understand this because the net P&L column is not how you're doing on your strategy. It is the net on your open positions and open positions only. So if we had several positions here, it would just show us what we're down on the open positions that we have not closed yet. The next column here is today's P&L. So today's P&L, it shows we're up $90 today. So we recovered $90 on that position today. And the next column...
Let's just talk about these two columns for a second. They're important also. You have the net P&L. The net P&L is from the time you opened the positions all the way until now. So this is the column you would actually use to, if you were even if you're having an up day today, you haven't recovered from where you actually entered the position. So you would not want to close the position because you're still down 150. Now we added the today's P&L. This just gives you an idea of, am I having an up day today or a down day? It's nice to be able to look up and see if I'm having a good day or not, So we know we had an up day today, we made $90, even though, so originally before today, that means the stock actually was down, $240 yesterday, and it recovered 90 today. And then, so once the net P&L side goes positive, that's when you're going to actually execute the close position.
All right, so then moving along, the next column here is the bid price. So it's going to tell you what the bid price is in this column and what the ask price is in this column. So you can see $9.75 and $9.76. So
and for those of you who aren't experienced in the stock market, the way it works is when you buy a stock, you buy on the ask price. You pay the higher price. But when you close the position, you're selling it on the bid price. So you don't want that spread to be too wide, because if, say, it was a 10-cent spread, then you're already a 10-cent loser right out of the box as soon as you bought the stock because you paid the higher price. What the auto trader actually, when we get into the strategy wizard, will show you, the auto trader by default is already set to not accept a trade with bigger than a 2-cent spread. And you have to go out of your way to change that. I mean, you have to check. You can raise the number yourself. Some people don't care. Some people say, oh, I don't care what the spread is. I just want to buy it. Well, then you could open up the spread to allow a spread up to 50 cents or even $1 if you wanted to. Personally, I would never do that. We're trading high volume stocks here. I mean, these things shouldn't have more than a penny or two spread.
So that takes us to the next one, which is volume reach. So there were 142,225,000 shares of Bank of America that exchanged hands today.
That's remarkable.
So that's a beautiful, very, very highly liquid stock, and a lot of action and a lot of trading going on. So the next column over here, during the trading day, it says manual right now because we're after market hours, but during the trading day, that box is going to say stealth mode. So it's going to say stealth, which is going to tell you that no one else can see our orders. We're not floating anything out in public view. So that protects us from the professional traders and the institutional computers that are looking for orders and trying to determine where people are buying and selling.
And there's actually a huge benefit to not sending the order to the broker. Like if you send a limit order to the broker, as soon as it hits your goal price, like $10.10 it says here, if it hits that price, it's just immediately going to sell at the broker. But since we didn't submit the order to the broker, the advantage we have is after it reaches the price, the limit price, we on the right-hand side there's a column here called reached. See volume, and then could you point at it? Reached, right there. So down below here, across from that symbol, you're going to put a Y there. A Y will appear there. It says yes. That means yes, I reached my goal. And then the auto trader will start looking for a very small pullback in the price. So we can actually let a winner run higher without closing it out. And then after it pulls back a few cents from its high, then the auto trader will automatically close it.
All right.
It's a pretty nice feature.
It's a great feature. So down below here, if we were trading more symbols, this is where our watch list would be. So if we had several other stocks, that would be down below, and it would give us the information on each one of those symbols. But because we're starting off with a very basic strategy here, for a lot of you folks that are new to automated trading, we don't have any in here. We can see that we're just running the Bank of America long strategy. So now, a couple other things to show you. These buttons here in the middle, if you ever want to close a position manually, if you want to open a position or close a position manually, you can use those buttons. So they're available to use.
Well, wait, click on one of these down here. Click on the line, anywhere on the line. Yeah. You also have those options. If you click anywhere on the line on the symbol, you have all these options. Buy additional shares. If you just click it, it'll pop up a window and give you the option. It knows you're trading in 1,000-share lots, so it'll give you the option to add more thousands. Or below that, sell selected 1,000 shares or sell all 1,000 shares. If you have 2,000 or 3,000 shares there, it gives you the choice. You don't have to, you can just tell it sell all or sell, and you can specify which lot you want to sell if you want to be specific. If you're not specific, it's going to sell the most profitable lot that it sees. It gives you the option also to click to edit the price. You can change the entry price just in case it was different than what we're showing here. Reset exit phase. We don't need that feature anymore, and we'll talk about that later because that's actually built into another feature that's way more advanced, and that automatically does it. Reset exit phase. Do you mind if I talk for a minute about exit phase?
Sure, go ahead.
All right. There are 5. People don't know this. But there are 5 exit phases. Exit phase 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Exit phase 1 is if I don't know if you really need to know this, but you should know it, I guess. Exit phase 1 means that the market conditions look really good for this stock, for this position. So we want to go after the most money we can get. So let's just, for example, say our profit goal was $1. Then the auto trader says, you know what? I'm going to go after that whole $1. But then what happens is the exit phase will go to 2 or 3 or 4 based on the market conditions, and also it takes into account the time of day. If, say, you're starting to get close to the end of the day and the market's getting ready to close, and maybe the market is going down while you're in a long position, so it really does not look favorable for you. It could go all the way down to exit phase 5, and that says, you know what, give me something here. You don't have to go after the whole $1. So this is like a thinking, breathing machine. I hate to say that, but it's designed to take money, and that's what it's like the Terminator. I mean, this thing is, or the ever-ready bunny rabbit, I call it. You know, it's got features built into it, and as you go, you know, and as we go through more training classes, I'll show you a lot of neat stuff that's already built in. I mean, so you're not necessarily. I think the difference between CoolTrade and a lot of other systems, or any other system for that matter, is I think with any other system, it's going to count on you to know and do everything. You're going to have to micromanage that position. With CoolTrade, you can just give it generalities of how you want of rules, and you don't have to take complete control. Let the machine breathe a little bit. Let it do what it does best. It's a computer.
Yep. So now let's you know, just to recap, the system's going to do all of this for you. So you know, you don't have to get worried that there's way too much that you need to know. It's going to do it all for you, and it really is ready to go once it's installed. So now let's get to the fun part. So what I did is clicked on report here, and this particular one started on 9/24. And this is our reporting section, which is up top here. If you just click reports here, it's going to generate this, and then you can tell it, you know, do I want to look at the results for the last day, the last week, the last month, the last year? It's all really easy to use. It's all point and click. So, you know, just doing a report for the last year, going to tell you when it opened the position, what time it opened the position, what date it closed the position, what time on that date it closed it, what the symbol was, whether it was on the long side or the short side, what it bought it for, what it sold it for, how many shares, and what it made for profit. So these are all the profits.
That does not include the trading fee.
That does not, yeah, good point. That does not include the trading fee. So it depends on who your broker is. If you're a TD Ameritrade and you're a CoolTrade subscriber and you signed up through us, they offer $5 trades. If you're with Interactive Brokers, it's around the same if you're trading 1,000-share lots. So these are all the trades that it's done since 9/24, and you can see down at the bottom what the total is, $33,560. So what's really impressive about this is, you know, you look at our open position. If you want to find out what our net is, we would subtract the $35.60 from the $150, and that'll give you your net. And we've only got $9,760 allocated on this one. What a tremendous return in just over 2 months. And, you know, when you include in the holiday there, you know, we had 2 months. So it's really is a powerful tool, and it did this all on its own without us having to get involved at all manually. So I'm going to share with you a couple other things up top here. I'll try to run through them quickly so we can get through the strategy wizard. And there's all kinds of things that you can do here. If you click on File, you have My Subscription, Trader Preferences, Strategy Preferences. So these are all tabs that you can click on, and it'll open them up. I'm not going to get into every single one of them tonight because we want to spend some time on the strategy wizard and then give you guys some examples of different symbols that you can trade and use the tool for. So if you want to update the version, you can download the developer version at any time. We don't charge for updates, so you'll always get the latest and greatest.
Ones. The developer, I call it the developer version. That's the most recent version of the software, you know, since the last official release. And, you know, I'm always adding, you know, more things to make it better and better.
So we have a CoolTrade community board also. So if you want to ask a question and you want to get a really quick response, sometimes the best thing to do is go onto the community board and ask, you know, there's usually hundreds of people that will very quickly respond and get back to you with an answer to a technical question. View CoolTrade manual. So there's a manual here. There's tutorials here. View the CoolTrade website. If you want to go there, you can. Open a new brokerage account. You can do that too. If you do it right through the site, TD Ameritrade, just for example, if you go there, there's a special offer, and you actually get 50% off trades by using that special offer. I don't believe you can get that just walking into a TD Ameritrade office. It's a very special offer that
they don't advertise.
That's specific just for CoolTrade. So if you ever need to change your password, you can do that here. And what are we doing? Exit session.
Just change that to 11 o'clock.
Update?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So a couple other things to show you. So the next tab here, blocked. If you ever want to block a symbol, say the one shows up in your watch list here, and you don't particularly care for it, any symbol, just take one, GM or GE or any one that say you didn't care for, you could just enter it in here very easily, and then add it to your block list, and just go ahead and click this button, and the system will never consider buying that stock.
And what primarily that's used for sometimes is if you happen to have some positions at the broker that you don't want the auto trader to trade, like you want to keep them forever, then if you block them in the ClueTrade system, because the system constantly is polling with the broker to say what are my positions, and the broker is going to keep reporting that symbol, but when the auto trader sees that it's blocked, we just ignore it.
So the next one here, we have charts as well. So if you want to use charts and apply indicators and so forth, you can click on that button. I'm not going to get into that tonight, but you can do that and apply some different technical indicators and look at some charts. Exceptions. If the broker ever has an issue filling an order, then what they'll do is they'll kick it back, and the auto trader will populate it into the exceptions folder. So if you'd like to pursue it, you can contact the broker, and you can talk to them about it. They may, if you're trying to short a stock, there may not be any shares available. That's an example of when it would enter into an exception.
And you can also do one too. If you happen to have any in your watch list here, you could click on it and say, remove it, remove from today's list.
All right.
And it'll go into the exceptions folder then. But it'll only go in for one day. It'll be back tomorrow if it's in your watch list.
So the next one here is if anybody follows Jim Cramer, they're interested in Jim Cramer and his Action Alerts Plus, if you sign up for it or you have an account, you can enter your username and password here. And if Jim recommends that you buy a stock, the robotic trader will open up the position for you. And if Jim tells you to sell the stock, the auto trader will apply the rules to the strategy first. But if he tells you to sell the stock and there's other rules that override it, they'll override it. So it's kind of neat here if you're a Jim Cramer fan. Personal, if you wanted to add a symbol to your watch list and to the rules of your strategy, you could do that here. Say that you just knew that there was a stock that was going to go up and you felt really confident about it and you wanted to add Facebook, for example. You could put FB in there and click Add Symbol, and then it would get added to your watch list.
And it'll be there every day regardless of what strategy loads. That symbol will always pop in.
And then if you had another one, RIM, for example, if you want to put in here,
or Lucent,
or Lucent, or there's many, many more, that you felt confident they were going to be going down and their economic future did not look so bright, you could go ahead and populate it in there and it'll get added to your short watch list. And it'll follow the rules of your short strategy.
Of whatever short strategy happens to be there.
All right, so preferences. I'm going to skip over that for a moment. Rules here, this will show you the rules of your strategy. This is meant to be a quick reference guide. What's interesting during the day is you'll be able to actually see the rules and the calculations of those rules during the day. So if you ever want to look at it and say, why isn't it opening up this position, you'll be able to see the robotic trader doing the math, and you'll be able to look at it very quickly and say, oh, the rule is failing. So that's why it's not opening the position. So we covered reports, we covered rules.
Well, see, on the main screen, it's going to tell you the first rule that it sees that failed in your watch list down below.
Right.
It's actually going to tell you the rule that's failing. But if you want to look and see how many other rules might be failing in that strategy besides just the one that the auto trader is telling you about, then you can go and look at the rules tab and take a look at the values.
So most of you are going to be running an auto trader and you're not going to be paying a lot of attention to it. You'll check it every day or every couple of days. But there are a lot of features and a lot of things that you can take advantage of that are very interesting. The sector graph is one of those features that I really enjoy looking at, because what this does is it gives you the percentage of stocks up versus the percentage of stocks down minute by minute during the trading day. So 1 minute before the close, 71% of all stocks were up and 26% were all down. And the balance between those two were unchanged.
So from the previous minute, right.
From the previous minute. So it gives you 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, and 30. What's interesting during the trading days, you can actually really see the high-frequency traders moving the market back and forth. The other thing that you'll notice, too, is you will see all sectors pretty much flowing the same. You would think that each sector would be independent from one another, and years ago they weren't. But with the high-frequency traders moving the market back and forth, you can really see the momentum playing back and forth from minute to minute, which is really interesting to watch. Video help, if you want to take advantage of these videos, we have instructional videos on everything that you need to know on the Auto Trader right here.
The ones I recommend you look at right away is the strategy Cool Trade System overview, and then in the Strategy Wizard, the Strategy Wizard overview. That'll at least give you a walkthrough of what each of these fields are.
All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the Strategy Wizard here. And this is the back end of the system. So I'm going to go ahead and start here.
What do you mean, the back end?
This is the Strategy Wizard.
Oh, the guts of,
yes.
of the strategy, right.
So this is where we actually build the strategy, or we select the strategy, which I'll go back to that and show you how to select preloaded strategies and access the community board in just a moment. But I would like to start off with the Strategy Wizard. It really is a beautiful thing. It's composed of 7 tabs. It's all point and click. It's all in English. It's all very easy to use and all very easy to understand. It looks intimidating when you first look at it, but it's all very easy to use. So up here, we've got the first column. It tells you what strategy you're looking at. So this one is a Bank of America long strategy. Then over to the right here, we have our times. So depending on what time zone you're in, you're going to want to make sure that your times match up with the market hours if you're trading here in the U.S. So if you're on the East Coast, you're going to want to start trading at 9:30 a.m. and you're going to stop trading at 3:58 p.m. So this first column here, I'll just go over each one of them real quick. We've got our open position time range from 9:30 to 3:30 p.m. So what that means is the market didn't close at 3:30, but it means that we're not going to open up any more positions the last half an hour of the day. The next column down below is add shares to existing position time range. So between 9:30 and 3:30, we're looking to add to our existing positions following the rules of the strategy. So if you set up your strategy and you told the system that you wanted to add on 5% drops, it's going to be looking to do that.
But only during those hours.
But during those hours. So then the last one here is the closed position time range. So from 9:30 a.m. to 3:58 p.m., we're looking to close profitable positions. The robotic trader's always looking to take money. So over to the left here.
Before you go on there, while you're on these times, let me just make one quick point, one comment.
Sure.
I run about 30 auto traders, and I live in, I bounce around between Arizona and Florida, but my machines are stationary. But I put all of my machines on New York time. So I don't have to play around and try to figure out what time is it when it's, well, most people don't have to worry about time zone changes because your computers already do that. So once you set these up, you don't have to bother with them. But Arizona's a crazy town. We don't know how to, we couldn't just agree with the rest of the world. So we don't change our clocks when the time zone changes. So if you set your auto trader to start at, say, 6:30, well, that's only going to be good for 6 months. And then you're going to have to flip it to 7:30. And I don't really want to go in and change times on 30 auto traders. So I just set my computers to New York time, and I let my computers change with the time zone changes, and I never have to bother with these. They're always set the same.
All right. So over to the left here, this is where we tell the robotic trader how many shares we want to trade. So if we click on this box here, we have the fixed lot size. So we've told the robotic trader we want to trade 1,000 share lots. You can select with whatever you like. If you want to start trading 100 share lots, you can. So Bank of America, is a $9.75 stock, so it would be $975 for 100 shares. You can, trade 200 shares, 300, 400, 500, whatever you'd like. This one's set for 1,000. Now the next column here is max shares to be purchased per stock symbol. So in this strategy, if the stock price goes down, we're going to add more positions. We look at it as we are going to be adding and buying more product at a discount. So we're going to be buying more stock at a discount. And you can do that with your strategy, or you can not add to your positions. But this is just how this one is set up. Now the next column here, it says lot size based on a fixed dollar amount. So if you wanted to tell the robotic trader that you didn't want to spend more than, say, $3,000 for any given position, you can do that here. Now, if you wanted to tell it maximum per stock symbol, if you were adding to positions as it was going down, you could do that here and just change it. It's all point and click, and it's really, really easy to use.
So you can see how the auto trader evolved over time. When I originally started out, I only had that very top one, fixed lots. You trade like 500 shares and with a max of 2,000 shares, say. And then people came along and said, hey, I want to be able to trade in dollar values instead of telling it how many shares. And then that makes sense. If you're trading a $50 stock and a $10 stock, maybe you don't want to buy the same amount of shares. So you base it on a dollar value. Then the bottom block there, we evolved a little further. And they said, you know what, I want to trade in percents, I see a common one is like 5% of my account balance, of my buying power, actually. So that's just basically what you're saying is I want to be able to buy 20 lots of stock because, 5%, 5 times 20 is 100. So that's, those are the different options that you have for selecting how many shares the thing's going to trade.
It's really easy to set up, and it's all point and click. It's really easy to use. Once you start using the auto trader and getting in and playing around, it just becomes really easy.
Nick here didn't know anything when I met him almost 2 years ago. He knew nothing about the stock market at all. So he was a great pupil, a great student because he wasn't already brain damaged, is what I always say. I didn't have to untrain him on anything. I could just say, hey, this is how things work, and he was right there. A lot of people though, some people say, oh, I never add to losers and stuff, and it's so then I have to deprogram the guy, so hopefully you guys aren't too far gone. I'll try to help you.
So then let's go into the next column here, maximum symbols to purchase. So right here we just tell the robotic trader how many stocks we want to trade. So since this one is set up to just trade Bank of America, we're just trading one stock. But if you wanted to trade 5 stocks or 10 stocks or 100 stocks, you just select whatever you want, and the robotic trader will know that you are telling it that it can trade up to that many different stocks.
So if you had this thing set to 5, maximum symbols to purchase is 5, and even though you had 20 stocks in your watch list, if you already have 5 open positions, it's not going to open a 6th one until you close one.
All right. So next thing I'd like to touch on is there are so many safety features built into this system designed to protect you. So, everyone has been through the school of hard knocks around here. So there's all kinds of features that have been added to protect you, like the max bid-ask range. So that's set at 2 cents. So it won't open up any positions where it has a bid-ask spread that's way out of line or way out of whack.
You know what's interesting about that particular feature? Why would I even create a feature like that when you could easily add that rule yourself? You could have built that rule yourself using the rules. What I noticed early on, all the way back in 2005, was most people weren't creating any rule to look at the bid-ask spread. And I felt like, you know what, that's a real big one there, If you're ignoring the bid-ask spread, I mean, you're going to get killed, sometime eventually you're going to get it. You're going to end up going into a position with a real big spread, and then you're going to, be down that much, and you got to dig yourself out of the hole. So I just felt like that's kind of a common thing that really needs to be in every strategy. So I just kind of separated it from the rules and just put it up here.
All right. So down below here, let's touch on these real quick, and we'll move ahead to the next one. Start closing all positions at this time each day. If you wanted to day trade, all you have to do is check this box, and you can run your strategy, and then the system will know to close out all your positions at whatever time you choose each day. If you want to just trade for the first 2 hours of the market, you can do that. If you want to trade, from 10 o'clock to, 11:30, you can do that. If you want it to run all day and shut off or close all your positions at the end of the day, you can do that. So whatever you want to do, you can do that there. It's very easy to use. Now down below here, close open positions that have made this much profit. This is set at 3:50 p.m. Anything up more than $150, the robotic trader knows to go ahead and send the market order and close that position. So that's set there. But you can set that for whatever you want. If you're happy with $50 or $20 or $200, you can set that for whatever you want to. So it's really easy to use. It's just point and click.
I personally don't let any winner carry overnight. I'm not gambling. To me, the stock market's not a crapshoot. So I don't leave any money on the table, and a lot of people would say, well, what if it goes up tomorrow? Who cares? That's tomorrow. We don't know what's going to happen. But if you found $150 on the ground and you would pick it up, then there's no difference here. You found it. Now grab it.
So, one thing to touch on is, you're going to be able to select a strategy, and all of this is going to be done for you. But we just wanted to kind of walk through it so that if you want to make changes and so forth, you can.
You did skip this middle one here. Close open positions that have reached their goal at 345. Now, what that means is, remember what I told you earlier. If a position has reached its goal, we don't close it, right? We're waiting for a pullback in the price. Well, what was happening years ago, we observed that a lot of times the stock didn't pull back at the end of the day. So we ended up staying in the position even though we had reached its goal. Because the bottom one here, that $150 one, that bottom one, that one didn't exist either 5-6 years ago. That actually, we created that. I added that feature just, I think, last year. So that middle one there, close open positions that have reached their goal at 345, that just says, hey, when 345 comes around, don't wait for the pullback anymore. Just give me the money.
So one more thing I'd like to emphasize real quick is when you subscribe, if you haven't already, all you need to do is download the software, and then you can give the corporate office a call, and our technical support team will go ahead and get it all set up for you. So they'll go ahead and set it up for you and walk you through a few things, and you're gonna learn very quickly. But it'll all be set up, and it'll be all fully automated, and it'll be really easy for you to use.
Wait, go back to tab 1 real fast.
Okay.
See that verify start stop times? You got to click that.
So if you ever want to check your times just to make sure that they're all correct, you can check that or click that button, and it's going to show you all times appear to be okay, or it will tell you, which times are off, and you just need to adjust them.
Right, because sometimes there's overlap. When we're dealing with international times and everything, the AMs and the PMs. When you're typing in the times, you may have accidentally left AM on the open and AM on the close. The auto, that little check there will tell you that, hey, that time is not right.
All right, so the next tab here is the watch list rules. So for this particular strategy, we just wanted to trade one stock, so we put it in here, my portfolio, entered Bank of America, and went ahead and we entered that and clicked verify symbol, and then what happens is it goes over to our watch list.
Well, and it didn't go there until you check that box down there that says add my portfolio to the watch list.
Right. So we check the box there, and it ends up going over to my watch list. Now the robotic trader knows that's the one we want to
Now, by
trade.
checking that first one, all you did was put it in the watch list along with the symbols that the strategy picked that's based on the rules. It would have added more symbols. Uncheck that bottom one for a second. Use my portfolio or symbol files only. Watch what happens when you uncheck that. More symbols came in. See on the upper right, more symbols came in because of these rules here. But in this case, you want to ignore the rules because he only wants to trade that one stock, and he really didn't want to delete all of his rules. So he puts that one symbol in here and then goes down here and says use my portfolio or symbol files only. So check that, and it forgets the rules and it only puts that one symbol in there.
So
are you going to talk about symbol files at all?
So I wasn't going to cover that tonight.
Well, symbol files is just, you have the ability to also have like a file on your computer with a list of symbols in it, and you can tell the auto trader, hey, get my symbols from that file. So there's all different ways of get symbols into the system.
Okay, so what I'm going to do now is click over to the next tab. And remember, you're going to select a strategy to simulate to start, and they're already created. So you can start simulating right away to get familiar with the trader and how it works. And if you want to modify a strategy or change anything, you can just call technical support. It's real easy, and they'll just show you how to do it. Once you see how to do it once, you won't need to again, but you're more than welcome to call again if you'd like. So the Open Position Rules tab is tab number 3. If you notice here in the middle section, there aren't any rules. So the gentleman, the robotic trader that's running this one, we're not using any rules in this one. So what we're saying is go ahead and open up a position. So we're more interested in what's going to happen after we open that position. So one of a couple of things are going to happen. One, it's either going to go up and we're going to take profit, or two, it's going to go down and we're going to add to the position. I'm going to cover in the next trainings these rules and how to build rules and create rules and narrow 8,000 stocks down to a handful using this very powerful tool. But we're going to skip over that for right now. So that'll be the next class. So I'm going to go ahead and click over to the next tab, which is the Add to Position Rules. So this is the really important one here. So what we're saying here is if Bank of America drops 20 cents, we're going to add another lot. So if it goes down 20 cents, we're going to add another position. So what we're doing is trading a range between about $10 and about $7. So that's the range that we're trading. But this is a strategy that you could copy and it's ready to go. And if you want to modify anything, you can just call technical support or you can change it. We'll show you how to do anything that you need to do. So then I'm going to go ahead and click over to the exit rules. And once again, we don't have any exit rules for this strategy, but if you want to get really complicated, and some of the really fun classes we'll have down the road for those of you that are interested, we'll show you how to use different exit rules and how to know when to get out of a particular position. Now
you're on the bread and butter screen.
Now we're to the bread and butter screen. So this one here, this is the profit requirements. This is where we tell the robotic trader how much money we want to make.
These are the exit rules.
So these are the exit rules. So we have our profit goal here, and it's set for 20 cents. So we're looking to make 20 cents on 1,000 shares. That's $200. So if we get to 20 cents, what the robotic trader does is it puts a Y next to the symbol, which indicates we've reached our profit goal. And then what it does is it defaults over to this next feature, which is called the pullback after reaching the profit goal. So it's going to ride through the 20 cents, and it's going to wait for a 4-cent pullback, and then it will exit the position. And remember, it's doing this all for you automatically.
And you notice I put it in plain English, pullback after reaching profit goal.
And there's definitions down below. You scroll over any one of these boxes, and down below it's going to tell you exactly what it does. So that's how that works. Now let's go to the next box here. Start profit protection. So we aren't using this in this particular strategy, but there will be other strategies where you might have a 80-cent profit goal. But when you get to 50 cents, what you can do is say, that's not my goal, that's not how much I wanted to make, but if it gets to 50 cents, I'm happy with that, and I don't want to let it go. So what the system will do is put a P next to the symbol, and it'll indicate that I'm profit protecting it. So I'm going to continue to ride it up as we get closer to the profit goal. If it reaches the profit goal, I'm just going to go ahead and default over to the pullback. But if I don't reach my profit goal and it goes the other way, I'm going to go ahead and close it out and take the money, and we'll wait for the next opportunity.
That was a very nice feature when I added it.
So the next one here is stop losses. For those of you that like to use stop losses or lock-in losses, as we like to call them, you can use that feature here. Trailing stop losses are here and available to use.
The reason it's set to $50, that's per share. So the stock, a $10 stock cannot drop by $50 per share. It can only go down $10, and then it would be at zero. That basically means that you're not using a stop loss.
But if you wanted to set it up and say that I'm only willing to lose $2 or $3 on a stock, you can just set that for $3, and the robotic trader will close the position if that occurs.
Right.
So we've got the trailing stop loss here.
And we're not using that one either.
And we're not using this one either, but it's available for you to use. And then we have a reentry pullback. So the reason we wanted to go through this with you is there is so much going on with the robotic traders. These are not things that you don't need to understand all of them. You really can just select a strategy and it's going to do the rest. But as you get running the system and you see it working and you start making money, you're going to find yourself in a position where you're going to want to tweak it because you're going to want to make it better. And everybody goes through that. So with that, I'm going to conclude the Strategy Wizard overview for, the introduction to the system, and I'm going to flip back over here and talk to you about a couple of different things that you guys can do with these auto traders. So I thought this was kind of fun to share this with you, and excuse me for I ran out of time. I've been working 18, 20-hour days, over the last couple of weeks, and I put this together quickly, but we're going to have some really great things to share with you over the next couple of weeks here. So what I did here is I just took Microsoft, for example, and I printed a chart for the last 10 years. And I know it's late and you guys probably don't want to look at charts and so forth, so I'm going to make this really, really quick. So 10 years ago, Microsoft was $25.85. Microsoft closed today at $27.36. So over the last 10 years, it's just moving around. It's wiggling around. It's not staying right there. It's just, it goes up for a few weeks. It goes down for a few weeks. It goes up for a few weeks. It goes down for a few weeks. The point of showing this to you is that this is absolute gold for an auto trader. Nobody has time to trade the stock, but using the system, you just select a strategy where it just trades Microsoft, and it'll go ahead and do that for you. So then we'll go over to this next slide here, where what I did is created a little model which will show you buy and hold versus cool trade. So if you bought 100 shares of Microsoft and you held it versus cool trade and actually having the system trade the stock for you and take profits. So it's a simple dollar up, dollar down strategy. Buy and hold, if you bought the stock 5 years ago, you lost $556 if you sold it today. Cool Trade would have traded that stock over 5 years 47 times for $4,494 in profit. So, you buy 100 shares of Microsoft 5 years ago, the price was, $32.92, so it would have cost you about $3,300 and you lost $556. But if you would have traded the stock over that period of time, you would have pulled $4,494 in profit out of there. So that's just an example of that one. Then I did another one for you. So this is Halliburton. A lot of folks like to trade this particular stock. It's a oil services company. They're involved in everything. It's a lot of volume. A lot of people trade it. So Halliburton, 5-year chart. 5 years ago, the price was $36.68, and the price today is $32.41. So, but this is all this moving around, all this wiggling around, this is just absolute gold to an auto trader. It goes up a buck, you take the profit. It goes down a buck, you buy more. It goes down another buck, you buy more. It goes up a buck, you take profit. And you just do that over and over and over again over that period of time.
Let me just quickly say one thing, though. I've been to different seminars where people pull up a chart and they say, hey, look, wouldn't it have been great if you bought it here and then sold it there? And they cherry picked. It's called cherry picking a stock and showing you something. Well, in this case here, this isn't cherry picking at all. Any stock you pick is going to show that buy and hold is dead when you compare it to trading. So this isn't just cherry picking one stock. There's actually, if he was going to cherry pick, he could have picked a lot of other stocks that showed you'd have made hundreds of thousands of dollars by trading them.
I wanted to stick with the more conservative. What we try to do is we try to find stocks that trade in a tight range that move around quite a bit in that range, and that's absolute gold to an auto trader. We don't want to gamble and spend $500-600 on stocks and do crazy strategies. We just want to grind out the market over time and let the auto trader do its job. So buy and hold Halliburton versus Cool Trade. So if you bought 100 shares of Halliburton 5 years ago, you would have lost $427. So, you bought it for $36.68 5 years ago. Today it was $32.41. Cool Trade, what I think is really, really fun and exciting about this, is Halliburton's, it moves around a lot. Cool Trade would have traded at 155 times with a dollar up, dollar down strategy for $19,120 in profit. That sure beats the loss of $427. I mean, just amazing what this will do for you over time. And you run it for 6 months, a year, I mean, you're going to be a customer for life. You're going to love this thing.
Create your own private mutual fund in your house.
I'll show you one more, which is USO, which is United States Oil Funds. You know, a lot of people share that with us because they love it. That's another one. This is a 3-year chart. 3 years ago, it was $39.15. Today, it's $31.79. So it trades in this range between $30 and $40. It did break out and get up to $45. But, you know, $30, major resistance. Every time it hits 30, it shoots back up. So right now, it's on the lower end of the range, $31.79. So, you know, this is a 5-year comparison on just 100 shares. You know, once again, it's a, you know, $32 stock. You're talking $3,200 to buy that stock. And, you know, if you bought it and held it, you lost $783, and you lost all that time. You lost 5 years of time, you know, which you can never get back. Cool Trade would have traded that stock 103 times for $10,767 in profit. So, I mean, this thing is going to change a lot of your lives. I mean, when you run the system, you're just going to see the value very, very quickly of taking profit instead of just sitting there riding the stocks up and down. Nobody knows what these stocks are going to do, but you just got to keep taking profit. So one more thing. So if you haven't purchased your software yet, you know, we highly recommend, you know, that you get on board as soon as you can, you know, and introduce introduce everybody you can before 12/12/12. You want to take advantage of that special offer, buying the software for $3,500. You get it, you own it for 5 years, no monthly dues, nothing. So it really is a tremendous value. That's the best value we've had available. And then also sign up as many of your affiliates as you can. You think you'll get excited about this for free by 12/12/12. After 12/12/12, then, you know, it'll be $149 one-time fee to join the organization. So with that, I'd like to turn it back over to Sunil, and I wanted to run through it. I hope this is helpful. We didn't want to confuse anyone. At the same time, you know, I wanted to give you some information. This is just kind of our beginner course, and once again, technical support will set everything up for you. It'll turn itself on for you automatically, trade for you so you can see how it's going to work, and then it'll shut itself off automatically. And then let the robotic trader earn your trust and earn your respect before you risk any of your hard-earned dollars. So I really appreciate everybody joining us this evening. I hope this has been helpful, and I'll go ahead and turn it over to Sunil.
Hey, Nick and Ed, thank you so much. We're getting some great compliments on your training here tonight. This is our very first training. As I mentioned, those of you that may have joined a little bit late, we're so very excited about what's happened in 19 short days now of launching the MLM division. We are worldwide, thanks to many of you on the call here tonight. Again, the objective of tonight's call was to give you a overview of our tremendous technology that our genius founder, creator, Mr. Ed Barsano, has created. And just to be, again, crystal clear, you don't need to know all of this stuff. I zoned out 45 minutes ago, and I say that with all due respect to the gentleman, but for me, it's very confusing, and I know it's very confusing for a lot of you out there as well. There's millions of you and I out there that want a piece of the stock market but don't want to become students of the market, and I'm very proud to say that. I am a total dummy when it comes to the stock market. This is exactly the software that I need. And I'll be sharing my results with you guys as well as I produce or track my account. I opened up my account last Monday with $50,000 that I opened up with Interactive Brokers. You don't have to, of course, come into the market with that kind of money. As some of the examples were shared by Nick, you know, you come in with Halliburton for $3,200 or Microsoft for $3,000, and you can see what the tremendous profits that the trader would have done for you. But I will keep you guys posted as to my account. Honestly, I haven't even looked at my account since last week. I've been so busy working with all of you that are joining our company. I haven't even looked at it, but I'm very, very excited to report it back to you here next week or maybe on Friday's call, whatever. We'll figure out a time. We'll do it on a regular basis. But again, the emphasis I want to make here is, although many of you asked and requested for details of the software, you can see the genius that went behind this thing as Ed created 5 million lines of code. Now, my goodness, you know, again, I have no interest in knowing all the ins and outs of this. All I know is that it's time tested for the last 7 years. I know that there's 14,000 subscribers worldwide that are using the system right now in 40 countries. And I also know, which was very interesting, in fact, it was like the nail in the coffin for me, so to speak, that I scoured the internet, and I did not find one complaint about the software from the 14,000 subscribers worldwide. Now look, we all know what human nature is. Whether we like something or not, people always like to complain about something. Well, I couldn't find one complaint about this software from anywhere in the world. And I challenge each of you to do the same. Please go on the internet and see if you can find someone that's complaining about the software. And if you do, please send it to me, because I'd like to see what's being said out there, but you won't find it. In fact, I was on a phone call a couple of days ago with one of the top internet marketers in the world, and he says, Sunil, you're absolutely right. I could not find anything that anyone that's using this software for the last 7 years that had anything negative to say about it. We are teamed up, as you know, with 8 top brokers in the world: E-Trade, TD Ameritrade, Interactive Brokers, and so on. And these are multi-billion-dollar companies that don't just put you on their website because they don't know that the product works. They've done their due diligence. They have appreciated what Ed has put together here, and we hope that you do as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we're at 1 hour. We always like to keep our calls on time. We thank you very much. We're very excited about getting approximately 200 FAQs up on our website that details just about every question you can conceivably think about the software and technology. And if there are more, we'll simply keep adding to it. We want you to have all the information out there. We want your prospects to have all the information. And we're so, again, very excited about what we've accomplished in a very short time. We're going to take Ed's dream of having millions of subscribers on board with us. His current base of 14,000 soon will become 1.4 million worldwide subscribers. With that, good night, ladies and gentlemen. We look forward to working with each and every one of you. Please get your software. A great incentive on the table till 12/12/12, and then we go back to the regular pricing as we launch our company worldwide. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.
The organizer has ended the session, and this call will be disconnected.